and Roger Heaps. My word. Good morning, gentlemen. Let me just get organised because I'm not very organised this morning. Oh, my word. Here we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hasn't refreshed yet. Bear with me. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. There we go. Fantastic. Right. Hopefully, the live stream on my laptop is going to work this time because it hasn't worked the last couple of times. Roger Heaps. Good morning, Andy and all. Good morning, Roger. Great to have you in the workshop again, matey. Killswitch BB. Hi, Andy and crew. Hope you are all well. Big thumbs up from Killswitch. Yes, I am good. I have recovered from my exploits, should I say. And more on that very shortly. Alan Cook. Hi, Andy. Good morning, Alan. Hope you're all good, matey, and welcome back to the workshop. Gary Lennox. Good morning, Andy and crew. Good morning, Gary. Steve is in the workshop. Good morning, Steve. Steve, you'd be happy to know I was using the Pico yesterday. I was. And it was a video. It was. And I haven't yet edited it up. That will no doubt arrive on the channel at some point in the next few days. You may ask what I was using the Pico scope for. Well, you may remember a couple of weeks ago, Simon Rawle mentioned about using the Pico to measure the ripple on the DC outputs of the LED drivers, both in the old LED lights that I've got in the workshop that do flicker just almost as badly as the fluorescent tubes, but also on the new lighting panels that I've got. Well, it went very well. It wasn't a particularly long video, but it was, I think, very, very informative. So you'll have to watch out for that one. I'm not going to give any spoilers away on that. But yes, the wiggly lines told the story. Good job, Pico. Good morning, Simon. I keep jumping around. Hang on. Marius Van Wyk. Hello there. Good morning, Marius. Alan Cook, has your package come yet? No, not yet. There is something at the PO box, and I'm back up in Auckland next week, so I will go and have a look for you, Alan. Fingers crossed. Things do seem to be taking a very long time to get to New Zealand, and as Steve well knows, not every package sent is received at the moment. There's something going on. Whether they're just, overwhelmed with packaging and they're just getting dumped, I don't know. Steve, wiggly lines for the win. Absolutely. I even talked Mrs. Mechanic through it all, and she was very impressed, actually. Andreas Mulliman, good morning from Belgium. Good morning. I've been to Belgium. Great beer in Belgium. I did a beer fest there once. Dean Maiden, good evening. Good evening, Dean. Jim Dolby. Hi, Andy. Tuning in from Lincolnshire in the UK. Lincolnshire's very flat. That's what I remember about Lincolnshire. And it always seemed to be a place I had to go through to get to somewhere else when I was collecting cars for my dad. Yes, Lincolnshire, flat. Connor K. Connor K is back. Good morning, Connor. Morning, Andy and crew. Mike Bazansky. We've got all the regulars in today. This is fantastic. Good morning, Mike. Great to have you in the workshop, mate. Really appreciate having you around. Simon Wall. Oh my God. Simon Rawle. Wiggly lines save time. They do. And it's very difficult sometimes to try and change habits, isn't it, in a workshop? Often techs are a bit scared about new equipment that they don't really know how to use. And also them finding time to get trained up and to learn and experience and have a bit of fun with that kind of gear is often also very difficult. So my personal experience here in New Zealand is, yes, the techs appreciate just how beneficial it is, but they need the training to really benefit from that kind of equipment. I try and do a little bit here and there. Yes, there's some videos on the channel that cover basic use, and it really is only basic use. But not that many really have gone out and bought scopes. Cost? I don't know. It's a bit of a shame. Richard Perry. Hi, Andy and crew. GB thumbs up. Absolutely. Alan Cook. Package is for Holly. Absolutely, Alan. I will make sure that she gets it. In actual fact, she's due in the workshop in the next few weeks. I keep saying this. But all the parts have now arrived for the DR. I think all yes, all the parts have arrived. They're all here, so we should be able to get that finished in the next few weeks. Just got to schedule a weekend for the work. Simon Roll, smash the like, crew. Absolutely, smash the like button. Why not? And if you want to smash the dislike button, you know, they believe it or not, they actually both trigger the algorithm. But I'm sure you'll be triggering the like button. If you get up this time in the morning like me, you'll be triggering the like button. Oh my word. Gape Amador de Lira. Happy to hear you, Andy. No problem, Gape. Great to have you on board. Alan Cook, I sent you an email. Right, I will check that out, Alan. Thank you. Simon Raw, maybe you should push to be the word-wide scope trainer for that brand. I don't think I have the skill set, Simon, to do that, to be honest. I don't use it very often. I haven't used it other than yesterday for quite some time, to be honest. I think there are much more qualified people out there. I mean, obviously Steve, we've got Eric O. There's plenty of other guys out there that are far more experienced at using the Pico than I am. Obviously Ivan as well. In all honesty, I dabble with it. Sad to say, I'd love to be able to use it a lot more often, especially in an automotive environment. But it's only the odd case that I really get a chance to use it, when it's one that really is a problem for a workshop and they just can't find the fault. You know, so, and I've got a lot of other stuff to do. This is the issue. I don't just focus on diagnostics. I do loads of other stuff. The Giant Governor. Hello, Andy from South Africa. The Giant. Good to have you on board, matey. John Dwyer. Hi, Andy. You're looking good as well with all's well with the world. It is. It is. As you well know, we didn't have a live stream last Sunday. Last Sunday morning, I emerged from my tent in the, what was the valley called? Oh God, I can't remember now. I will find out. Alma is a very short word. It was Brass Monkey. Have a little look. Oh, my live stream is working on the laptop now, which is good. Let's have a little look. It's run by the Otago Motorcycle Club, which is, they've been doing it for 40 years, by the way. And it was held in Ida Valley. That was it. The Ida Valley in Otago, which was about an hour and 3/4 ride from Queenstown. So, just to rewind the clock, let's start from the beginning. I left home on the, God, when was it? I think it was Wednesday morning. Yes, Wednesday morning, left home on a brand new motorcycle of a brand that I'm not allowed to mention. So you can guess the brand, obviously. And got down, I left here about 10:30, I think it was. Got down to Wellington. It wasn't a bad run, went down Desert Road. Bike was well balanced, didn't have any problems with it, was getting used to, the way it was handling and stuff. And it was obviously on brand new tires, so I didn't want to go too quick. So I bumbled my way down to Wellington, wasn't in a rush, just had to get there for the evening. And stayed in the Bolton Hotel, my chosen hotel for Wellington. Great place and excellent staff, very, very accommodating. They allowed us to put the bikes downstairs in the cellar, which was great. And then on the Thursday morning, we had the ferry cross. Oh my word! Apologies. Mrs. Mechanic is currently messaging the children by the looks of it on the family Facebook thingy. Anyway, not to worry. So we got on the ferry. I think we're on the ferry. We had to check in for 8:30 for a 9:30 sailing approximately. So we got to Picton about lunchtime. And then we had a pretty major ride all the way down to Christchurch, right down the east coast. We went down eventually. Got to Christchurch. Oh, it would have been about 6:30, so somewhere about there. Obviously included a fuel stop somewhere. And a spot of lunch. We did get stuck behind a lot of trucks. There's a lot of wiggly roads down there and roadworks as well, actually. So it wasn't As Google Maps said, a 4-hour journey. It was more like about 5.5 to 6 hours it took us to get there. The roads are not in bad nick, to be honest. It did get pretty damn cold towards the end of the day, but it did stay dry from memory. Stayed in Christchurch on the Thursday night, and then we had to ride to Queenstown on the Friday. Now, that was a long run. That was about 550 kilometres, and it took us right down to the centre of the South Island, right over the plateau, through Geraldine, that's one place. Twizzle or Twizel, as some people call it. We stopped for lunch at the Salmon Farm Cafe, which was extremely nice. Kids were all there, catching salmon and stuff. It was very, very cool. And then made it into Queenstown. Well, I actually got to Queenstown about 5 o'clock, and then spent an hour riding around Queenstown trying to find the other two guys that I was riding with, Alan and Anthony. Terrible memory. And eventually I gave up, couldn't find them anywhere, and got my phone out, my work phone, and found where we were staying on an email somewhere. So bumbled in about 6 p.m, bit late, very quick shower, and straight out to Pog Mahoney's, which is Irish for Kiss My Ass. It's the Irish pub in Queenstown, and essentially we spent the whole night there. We had tea there, drank lots of Guinness. It's very nice. Great atmosphere, live band. Couldn't go wrong. Called it a night. It wasn't too late, to be honest. Called it a night about 10 o'clock, 10:30. I know, part-timer. Had to get up early in the morning. And then we had to, on the Saturday morning, ride to the venue, the Ida Valley in central Otago, which wasn't a bad ride at all, actually. We stopped for some supplies on the way, packed up the bike, loaded up the bike even more, and then got onto site. It would have been, I think we got there bang on noon, actually. Bang on noon it was, which is what I thought we'd get there for. And then got queued our way in. There was lots and lots of people there. It was a lot busier than I thought it was going to be. Eventually found a pitch right down the bottom of the paddock. And it's a huge field, a big grassy field that basically is adjacent to the road in. So you're actually camping next to the road, but you can also be quite far back from the road, but in the same field. And there were thousands and thousands and thousands of bikes there. It was a massive turnout, and a much bigger turnout than what the organisers had originally considered was going to happen. In recent years, the number of attendees has dropped. That wasn't the reason why they stopped doing it, and the last one was supposed to be last year, but COVID put a hold on everything, which in some ways I'm quite glad it did, because it gave me a chance to go and join in the fun. So, on site at the Brass Monkey, the last one, the 40th, we queued up for the beer tent many times. The queue just got longer and longer all night. There was a live band playing, which was great. The weather-wise, it wasn't particularly cold. The Brass Monkey has a reputation, and that's one of the, if not the coldest place in New Zealand, is Ida Valley. And it really wasn't that cold, but it was raining. It was raining quite a bit most of the time, and windy. It was pretty damn windy. In fact, it got very, very windy at one point, and I thought, geez, they're not going to like the bonfire in this kind of wind. But fortunately, it died down a bit, and they did like the bonfire, and the bonfire was massive. If you just Google Brass Monkey 2021, there are so many photos and videos. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that you can go and watch that show you the whole experience of that night. There was quite a few film crews there and a media presence. So, and of course, people were posting their own stuff as well. Internet connection at the site was woefully bad. It did exist, which surprised me, but it was not very good at all. So as regards doing a live stream on a Sunday morning, it would have been pointless. We'd have lost connection most of the time. It just wouldn't have worked. So bonfire was on. It wasn't made of, just logs. It was just complete trees. It was that big a bonfire, and it was a really long one. It wasn't, circular, and it went on for probably, oh my word, it must have been about 40 or 50 meters in length, and it must have stood initially probably 8 meters high. Once it was lit and it was going, it was an absolute inferno. And it was quite funny because nobody could stand anywhere near it. It was that bloody hot. The line for the beer tent was about almost the front for the bonfire, and it even stood there. You couldn't look at the bonfire straight on for any period of time. You just started to melt, to be honest. So yeah, it was pretty damn good actually. Queued for the beer tent about 3 times. They did limit the amount of beer you could buy. It was 4 cans per person each time. But we soon came up with a plan. And the plan was, and I think a few people have realised this, loitering around near to the end of the queue where you'd be buying your beer were individuals. And the plan was that when you got near, you'd grab one of these individuals, or 2, or whatever you wanted, to join your group in the queue. They were only there as humans, which then meant that when you purchased a beer, you could have an additional 4 beers per additional human that you'd grabbed, which was great tactics. The only downside, and obviously you had to pay them, you would pay them a beer each for their services. They would then pull back once you'd done the transaction, drink said beer, and then join the queue again and do the same thing all over again. And the organisers didn't seem to rumble that one. It was actually pretty damn good. We had it sussed. Food was also provided. There was a couple of food huts, and I think the main choice was like a steak sandwichy kind of thing with some onions and stuff. So there was plenty of sustenance available. That was good. We migrated back towards the tent, and there was a gentleman there. This is probably mid-afternoon now. There was a gentleman there with a trike, which had a V8 engine. I have no idea what engine it was. It was just a big trike that somebody had made with a big V8 in it, and it had a distributor. And he basically was saying, "I've got problems with my bike. Can somebody help? It's not really working very well when it's under load." And on the way, he'd done about 400 kilometers to get to site on this trike, and he was towing, much to my absolute amazement, a caravan. Yes, a caravan behind his trike. Probably a little bit heavy for it, but anyway, it did the trick just. And he says, "Look, can you take a quick look at it?" So he'd been playing around with a dizzy, taking the cap off and the rotor arm and looking at the points and bits and pieces. And he did say he'd opened the points gap up along the way, and it had made it run worse. So I think, well, okay, we'll have a little look and see what kind of condition the points are in, and we'll try and set the points gap to where it should be. Opened the dizzy up, and the points were in a terrible condition, and the gap was way too big. And then he proceeded to show me that the distributor was adjustable without undoing any nuts and bolts. And he just grabbed hold of the body of the distributor and twizzled it round backwards and forwards. And at this point, I just put my hands in my face and I went, "Oh my God, this is going to be fun." Anyway, I asked him to go and find some kind of emery cloth or, something we could clean these points up with. But by the sounds of it, it looked like the condenser was shot. So he went off and asked around and was unable to find any bits and pieces. We did the best we could to try and get him sorted out. And after we'd done the beer tent a few times, we came back and he had a fantastic brazier that he'd made, not his wife's brazier, a brazier that you put wood in and burn, that kind of thing. And it had it all laser cut out, AC/DC, and it had some other symbols on there and bits and pieces. So we all sat around this brazier for the rest of the evening and talked shit and drank beer, basically. And his little iconic saying was, "More logs, more wood, more wood." So all night long he'd be shouting more wood. And unfortunately we didn't have that much wood. The organisers had brought a ton of wood to site because lots of people have these fires around the little mini campsites, and we ran out. So people went off in little sorties to go and steal wood from other groups, and it worked out pretty well. He managed to have wood until the early hours of the morning. I remember waking up about 2 o'clock in the morning and him shouting, "More wood!" He was still awake, and he was awake when I got up at 6:30 in the morning. He'd been awake all night. What a blow. And I hope he made it back to Christchurch okay. I've not heard from him since. He knows all about the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel, obviously. So maybe, just maybe, they'll be sending me a message to let me know how their return journey went. But I did give him some advice. I said, look, the distributor cap was full of dirt. It was all oily and stuff as well. So I said, look, go and get yourself a new distributor cap, new rotor arm, new set of points, and a new condenser. And it only had one condenser, which I thought was a bit surprising. I was expecting to see two, but there was only one on there. But all in all, the Brass Monkey was an excellent trip. On the Sunday morning, like I said, I crawled out of the tent about 6:30 a.m. I was desperate for a piss, and made my way across. And they had around the site these little sort of tin shacks, which were like the urinals for the gentlemen, and then they had the odd portaloo for the ladies. And there were some ladies there, which was good to see, and some of which had also ridden there. Anyway, in this tin shack, you walk in, it's like a little staggered entry, and then there's basically some guttering at waist height running around the wall of said building. So I stood there and, began to do what gentlemen do in urinals, and within a few seconds of beginning the process, I could hear a liquid splashing down onto the ground, and I went, that's odd. So I looked down and followed this guttering along the wall, and I didn't have to follow it very far because it ended about 2 foot to my right, and the pipe that took it down into the ground had broken, and of course the liquid was then just pouring onto the ground, and of course it was running then back towards my feet. At this point, I just shook my head in dismay and just carried on, and that unfortunately was sort of the quality of the lavatories, the waste disposal units on the site. It was pretty poor, pretty dire was the word actually. But hey, you soon got used to it. I'd have been far better off just having a wander across the field and finding a bush and peeing behind that, to be honest, because the smell in there by the end of the activity, of the event, was just, you could hardly breathe. It was horrendous. It really was. So on the Sunday morning, packed up the tent. It was just mizzling a little bit. There was a drone flying around, so you might see some more footage of the whole campsite from that drone. It's on one of the videos on YouTube. Just Google Brass Monkey. So Sunday, we legged it back to Christchurch in the rain most of the way. We stopped off at a little village just before we got on the main road that runs up the east coast, just south of Oamaru. Got onto the main road after I had a jam donut. Jam donut and a pie for breakfast. Bloody good. Should have filmed it, but didn't. Pie actually wasn't that good. The jam donut was fantastic. Pie was pretty average. Got through Oamaru, and then up through Timaru, and then basically all the way up to Christchurch. And we got to Christchurch in good time. I remember we got there about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which was brilliant. Had the longest shower, cleaned my boots after the urinal stuff, cleaned my boots, and then proceeded down to the local Irish pub. Now we did have to pass, on the way to the Irish pub, which wasn't too far, we had to pass Calendar Girls. Now Calendar Girls is a strip club in Christchurch, and much to my dismay, they didn't open until 7 p.m. I did mention this fact to the rest of the group, but they obviously declined to frequent the establishment. For whatever reason, don't know. I ultimately didn't go either, although I was quite happy to go and support the local businesses. But we had what did I have for tea? I had a pie, I think it was, a steak and Guinness pie, which was very nice. I think that's what I had anyway, from memory. Could be wrong, to be honest. It was weird. I didn't have any Guinness drink that night. I was off the Guinness. I had Magnus cider. And then on the Monday morning, we had to get up ridiculously early. I think it was about 5:38. No, 5. It was 5:15 in the morning that I had to get up, pack everything up, get down to the bike, and then we had to get up to Picton for noon. No, we had to check in for 1, but I wanted to get there for noon so we could have some lunch, and we did get there just in time. That was a hell of a trip. The road was very, very slippy, as was the day before, to be honest, up to Christchurch. In New Zealand, the roads, there's lots of bare bitumen now on the roads, and recently it's turned out that the government has decided, or the transport agency has decided to change the formula of the bitumen so that it melts at a lower temperature. Yes, honestly, in a country where it gets pretty damn hot in the summertime, why on earth would you do that? Well, the reason seems to be to cut down on costs, to make it quicker and easier to lay this bitumen down and resurface the roads. Biggest problem is, on any kind of a hot or even a warm day, that bitumen melts, comes to the surface, all the chippings go down below, and then when it rains a few days later, that tar is like riding on ice. And on the way up to Christchurch, I had 2 moments on the bike where the front wheel completely washed out on me. It just slid across the road. Pretty scary. Brand new bike as well. Didn't want to drop the bike. For some unknown reason, managed to stay on the bike and carry on. But I'll tell you now, the old heart definitely stopped a couple of times on that journey. And going up to Picton on the Monday, I was very, very wary about the road conditions. Bearing in mind the first couple of hours of riding was in the darkness. You're really struggling to see the best bits of the road to ride on, to be honest. So we made it back to Picton, got on the ferry. It was a really nice crossing. Got off, stayed at the Bolton on the Monday night, and then spent much of Tuesday riding home. And I had a great ride home on Tuesday. I was all on my own on Tuesday. The other lads, Alan had got up ridiculously early in the morning and gone. I decided to stay and have a nice lie-in, and then just mosey my way back home. So there you go, 2,650 odd kilometers it was in the end. A fantastic trip, thoroughly enjoyed it, and a huge, oh my word, a huge thank you to my, to Alan for organising it, to be honest. And Anthony for great company along the trip as well. We actually had a really good time. Everything went to plan, pretty much, apart from the road conditions. The bikes ran faultlessly, wasn't an issue at all. Most impressed, to be honest. Completely messed up my live stream now. Now, where are we? Oh my word, how many comments? Right, sorry, I ramble on quite a bit. But I thought you might like to hear about the brass monkey, especially being the last one. Right, hang on. Let me catch up. I'm catching up. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to call you 69, mate. I'm not going to say the first bit. Addicted to 69. How's that? Hello from San Francisco. Hello, Addicted. The giant governor. Andy, news about the spark tester you're going to send, please. Oh, sorry, haven't got around to it. I've been away. I will look at that tomorrow when I get back up to Auckland. Sorry, Vijay, I really have been pretty tied up with the trip, to be honest. Now, right. Brendan Lee Grant Mills. Hi, Andy. How are you this fine day? I'm actually really good. Really good. Dead chuffed that I made a video yesterday. I know it's been a long time since I made a video. Planning 2 more today, but the 2 that I'm doing today are going to be for the archives. They're not going to go on the channel for a fair few years. I'm sure you can realise why. Those that know will know. Right. Addicted to 69. Why can't you mention the brand? Well, that's a very long story. I'm sure somebody will tell you in the comments. Now, Graham McLucky. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Graham, and welcome back to the workshop. Kayamoto. Hi, Andy, from the US. New to the channel. Love the videos and the women too. I'm very pleased. And who could not like the Tool Girls, to be honest? Guy Martin is back. The Guy Martin is here. Hello, Guy, and good morning, and welcome to my workshop. Hello from me in Antarctica with the BBC filming. Hush, hush, say no more. Wow. Thank you, Guy, for that little inside knowledge there. Looking forward to that. I wonder what a guy could be doing in Antarctica. It'll be something to do with speed, no doubt. Interesting. I'll have to do some research. I'll do some Googling, Guy, and see if we can find out where you are. Steve, Cracking the flags here in the UK, Guy. You went away in the wrong week. Say hi to the penguins for us. Absolutely. And there are penguins. They weren't there when I was there, but in Oamaru on the east coast of the South Island, penguins often stray into the town centre. How cool is that? Penguins in the town, and they even use the footpath. It's pretty cool. George Bonnie 90. Hello everybody. Good morning, George. Welcome to the workshop. Now then. Oh, I think have I got to the bottom? No, there's loads to go yet. Hang on then. Ricky, was there any roadworks down the east coast, Andy? I'm heading down from Hawke's Bay to Christchurch tomorrow. Yes, it's not too bad. Where the big landslides were during the earthquake a few years ago, near, is it Kaikoura? Just south of Kaikoura, there was a heap of roadworks and long delays. They're still doing some of the rock netting that goes above the road on one of the tight corners, and that does cause about a 10 or a 15-minute delay. But other than that, it wasn't too bad at all, to be honest. Biggest problem is if you get stuck behind one of the trucks that's just come off the ferry, they tend to really hold you back. But there are a few places where you can overtake, some long straights. But please beware, there are lots and lots of speed cameras and police all collecting their donut funds. So be careful. Try not to speed if you can help it. Bum, 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 bum. Mike Bazanski, did you get a Brass Monkey sticker or t-shirt? I did. I've forgotten to bring it actually. In the house, I've got a little pin, little badge that they give out every year to those that have attended. I have got one of those. If Mrs. Mechanic is watching, she sometimes watches the live stream, she might bring it out to me. In fact, I'll send her a text and see if she can bring it out to me. How's that? Where are we? Here we go. Right. Hopefully it'll turn up. And I did order a t-shirt. They'd run out on site, so they're going to do another order. But I did order a t-shirt and a sew-on. I think it was a sew-on patch as well while I was there. But they'll arrive in the next few weeks. So yes, had to get some members, support the whole event and get some merch. That's what it's all about, isn't it? So hopefully I'll show you that pin shortly. Guy Martin, it's flipping cold here. Minus 55 and 40-mile-an-hour winds. Minus 55. That's bloody ridiculous. It got down to, I think, records were about minus 10 at the Brass Monkey in previous years. But it didn't even freeze. There wasn't even a frost the following morning. It was just drizzly and wet. And the wind had also died down by the morning. So it wasn't too bad, to be honest. But minus 55 is bloody ridiculous, Guy. Keep yourself warm, mate, and look after those fingers. You don't want to get frostbite. Simon Raw, it's been lush for working outside this week in the UK. It's not been too bad here, to be honest. We've had a bit of a concreting project on the back burner for the last few months, to be honest. Over the last 3 to 4 days, me and Mrs. Mechanic have been doing some concreting. We're putting a new fence up down the driveway, and I think we've got now, which is sort of an extension of the posts from the carport that I built a year ago, which will allow me to completely panel fence the whole side of the house, which needs to happen because in the winter time all the greenery dies off and it's very exposed. And it's not particularly nice for the neighbours to see me, stripping down vehicles and undersealing chassis and stuff. I want to try and protect them a bit from that. Plus, also, it'll cut down a lot on the wind that comes across through the property as well. So, over the next few weeks, that will all get finished, and then I can start on the big deck at the back of the house. And then once that's done, I can build the other carports. Mrs. Mechanic's told me, one thing at a time. Don't do what builders do and start lots of different projects and take years and years to finish them all. I just start one project and take years and years to finish it. Steve, definitely not a short stay for you, Guy. Hell no. Guy Martin, hi penguins. Simon Rawl, what's the pie today? Oh, the pie! My God! Thanks, Simon. The pie is an Oxford Pies pie. It's a steak and cheese, and it's been in the freezer. We bought this Mrs. Mechanic bought this a few weeks ago and put it in the freezer as an emergency pie for the live stream. So she chose the generously sized Oxford steak and cheese. So, oh, there's somebody at the door. Hang on. Oh, yes. Lovely. Thanks. Oh, Dolly. Right, just before we start the pie, it's going to be a very long live stream, this one, isn't it? Just before we start the pie, let's get the brass monkey thing finished off. There is the pin. Are you ready? Look at that. I got a pin. I was so chuffed. And a good friend of mine, Stu, who's the service manager of a motorcycle workshop in Invercargill, I was speaking to him on the phone the other day, he's been to every single one of the brass monkeys, all 40. Over 41 years. That is dedication, absolute dedication. Unfortunately, very sad, and I will give Stu a big shout out. Stu did go to the Brass Monkey, the 40th, the one that I was there. He took his motorcycle and sidecar. It was a green sidecar, if anybody spotted it. But I failed to find him. There was about 6,000 people there, reportedly. And I didn't spot him. I was looking around for him, but as soon as it got dark, it was almost impossible to see who the hell you were talking to. Never mind, find somebody. So my sincere apologies, Stu. I was very much looking forward to catching up and having a beer with you, or 2 or 3, in all honesty. But he was on the whiskey, so he told me, and he retired pretty early on in the night. They polished off an entire bottle of whiskey a little bit too quickly, by the sounds of it. And it just knocked him for 6, as a bottle of whiskey would. So yes, we've got the pin, and that is going to be looked after for many, many years. But also, and this is how dedicated I am, I've managed to save a Brass Monkey official Pilsner. Look at that. Official. Now, it's not been opened. Look, it's still sealed. And this is going to stay sealed for many, many years. There won't be any more of these. This is one of the last on the planet. The vast majority have all been drunk. But look at that. It's even got all the motorcycles on there and everything. Very, very, very cool. So who makes it? B-Effect. There, look. They make it for the Brass Monkey. Let's have a little read. A fond farewell to one of New Zealand's longest running and best known motorcycle rallies. After 40 years of withstanding frigid temperatures in Aotearoa, hopefully I pronounced that right, Aotearoa, we raise a pint to all who have braved the weather that's cold enough to freeze the balls off a Brass Monkey. Cheers to you all, you legends. Well, cheers, guys. It was a really cool trip. And yes, look, the very last beer. And I'm quite sure that plenty of people that went to the event will have one of these stashed away. Whether it'll ever get drunk or not is a whole different matter, but this one for now will stay sealed. I do like the logo, look. It's like a sprocket, it's got a little chain all around it and stuff. Somebody's put a lot of thought into that. Very cool. Right, it is pie time because I'm getting hungry. Okay, do a Steve, turning around, 3, 2, 1. Okay, where's the pie? There we are, look. Let's go and put it in the warmer. I can only just reach, so much crap in the way. Okay, stick him in there, close that, so we're on the bottom one, and we'll give it, I think we'll give it 20 minutes. How's that? If we see flames, we've got problems. So, little wander around the workshop while we're up. What have we got? Well, Holly's bike's still on the stand. That's going to come off shortly, actually. I've got to go and find a rear wheel to put in it again because I've got that video on the service to do. oil changing filter probably. I haven't got a lot of time. Yeah, well, actually, oh, yes, we've got a lot of stuff to get through. Look, okay, it's a bit of a coffee. Oh, it's really cold. Okay, let's go through the stuff. So this stuff arrived, I think it was last week while I was away, most of it. Now, the good news is, in fact, the really good news is that the top clamp for the CB750 has turned up. Look at that, brand new. And this, I believe, is a genuine Honda. So I'm told. Now, remember the other one had cracked down here, which is a common problem with these. They actually fit a little spacer washer in here on both sides, which is not normal on this component on a motorcycle. But they've obviously realized that, cracking is a problem. By limiting the amount that these can compress, it's obviously going to reduce the chances of it cracking. But obviously, if it's opened and closed too many times, it still cracks. So we've got this. This can now be fitted, but not yet, because we're still waiting on the lower rubbers. This has been painted now. Look how shiny that is. It's nice and all been repaired and everything. We've got some lower rubbers still waiting to turn up that need to go on the bottom of here. And I've got to drop the forks out again to do that. So this is the first job that I can do once those rubbers turn up. And at the same time, I can fit this, and I can put the headlight surround back on, redo all the wiring, and actually basically get the bike finished. That's the plan. What else have we got? Well, we've got some brand new handlebars for Holly's DR200, because the other ones are all bent. So we've got those. And these are some new tappet covers for the CB750. They turned up. So we've got those. And they also sent some new O-rings as well, which is good. And I know there's only 4, but these are the outer ones. Some of them were a bit munted on the actual thread, the actual socket cap head there. Look, the socket head. So I'm going to replace those. Now they've also sent me, and I have no idea why, a snap ring. I don't know what that's for. I don't know why I've even got it. Maybe it's something to do with fitting that triple clamp. We'll find out. Also, we've got a new gear lever, which was completely missing from the DR. So we've got one of those, genuine Suzuki, no expense spared. We've got a new rear axle because that was bent. This is what we've been waiting for quite some time. We've got that now. And we've also got a left-hand side stand, which again is missing. And to be a farm bike, it has to have 2 stands, doesn't it? So we've got that. There's your part number if you need one. And this is what I like about Suzuki parts. Look at this, handwritten little bags. And I'm not going to open them because then we're going to be doing a video on this. So in there is the nut. That's the nut for the side stand. In this one is the spring. So we've got a nice new spring. And in here is the bolt. So we've got those parts as well. And genuine Suzuki air filter. Oh, it's got tape on it. Hang on. Hang on a minute. I'm not very organised. There's one. There's 2. Bear with me. Let's have a look. There's the part number if you need an air filter for a DR200. Oh, yes. Look at that. Super clean. Shiny. Slightly too much glue on there, Mr. Suzuki. Or is it oil? No, it's all right. That's fine. It's just oil that's settled. I thought it was the bonding glue between the 2 halves. Cool. So we've got that, and there's something else in the box as well. What's this? How to fit it, maybe. Oh, no. Caution. Before fitting the filter, soak the element in some air filter oil or engine oil with around SAE 30. Squeeze the oil out of the element and then fit it to the element frame. Pretty obvious. Okay, we'll read that out in the main video when we come to do that with Holly. Right, so we've got 2 of those. One is to go in the bike and one is a spare for the trip. Remember that big trip that we're doing. Now, what else have we got? Well, running out of room, hang on. I was checking my fuse supply the other day before I went on the trip. And turns out I was really struggling for those mini type fuses. Now, Jared at Forge has sorted me out. He's got me some little 10 amp ones, 25 amps, 20 amp, 15 amp, and 7.5s. Brilliant. And I think there's a few in here as well. Let's have a little look. And he even gave me a nice box to put it all in. What a bloke. I like to try and keep things tidy. So this is where they're all going to end up. And it's really important that you have everything well organized. And in here we've got, oh my God, can I read that? That's a 5. Should know by the color, shouldn't I, really? But I was very short of the mini size blade fuses. So now I've got a special collection. So at some point I'll get all those fitted in there and get it all labeled up. So thank you again, Jared. Really appreciate you sorting those out for me. And they'll get put in the box later on today at some point, and we'll find a home. But I do like these boxes, and what I very much like is the way that this little twisty latch works. I think that's very cool. You know, oily fingers, really easy to open. Good job. Right, I can hear that pie ticking. Now, turning around, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now I'm going to plug you back on charge again because I'm going to be filming later on. I need a good battery. Otherwise, I'm waiting for the camera. 97%. Can't get one. So there you go. Big stash of more parts. Quite ironic that we're missing one part to crack on with the CB750. Most frustrating, to be honest. But hey, that's just the way the world works. And it's because the supplier actually forgot. Look at the quality on there, look. Bloody good paint job. Guy did a great job. And one of them was quite badly damaged around the back, and he completely remade all that. Absolute artist when it comes to fixing damaged motorcycles. Very, very good. Right. Time for a bit more cold coffee. Right, let's catch up with the comments. Where did we go? Guy Martin, definitely not. So talking about wearing shorts there. Alan Cook, check your email. All right, Alan, I'll check my email right now for you. How's that? Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Opening. Alan Cook, finished rebuild today. Here we go, look. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is very cool. I'm sure Alan won't mind me showing you this. So, he's made, that's his little drone that he's made there, look. And this is all 3D printed, by the looks of it. Very, very cool. So that all the chassis around here is made on his 3D printer. That's his controller. Very, very good. I like that, Alan. Good job, matey. Right, hang on. Terrible camera work. Terrible camera work. Sorry. Bad. Okay, where are we? Where are we? Back to the comments. Back to the comments. Back to the comments. So, Alan, done that bit for you, matey. No problems. Simon Rawls, some of the best repairs are roadside fixes. One of my best is a decat on the side of the A1 with a blunt hacksaw. Why would you do that? Oh, maybe it was blocked. Maybe it was blocked. Cut the bloody thing out. Why not? Mike, thanks for the tip, mate. Thanks for the tip. I was looking around the tent for any kind of vessel that would have worked for that, because I just really did not want to get out of the tent, but I didn't have one. All the beer cans are gone. There was nothing around. Connor K, I don't know to be gobsmacked more than the guy pulled the caravan with a trike, or that he couldn't tighten down his grime-filled distributor. Hope he got back home all right. He had absolutely zero mechanical knowledge whatsoever. I mean, sure, he managed to open the points. I'll give him that. And of course, that made it run even worse. So I ran through, a few possible reasons why it may have occurred. Obviously opening the points up reduces the dwell period. So, get a weaker spark, basically. So I said that's, really a bad idea. The points absolutely needed to be cleaned. He had no idea whether it was just dropping a few cylinders or whether he was losing, power on all cylinders or what. There was very little feedback. And of course, we couldn't just take the bike for a ride down the road. There was no real way of getting in or out once the whole event had started up. So I sincerely hope he made it back all right. At the end of the day, he got there with it in that condition. So if he just took his time, he should be able to get back all right. I don't think it's going to fail on him. Probably uses about 3 times as much fuel than it should do there. Bob Kinney, good day, Andy and crew. Good morning, Bob. Great to have you in the workshop, matey. John Dwyer. Hi, Guy. How are you? Connor K. If I was there, I would have gone to Calendar Girls with you. I appreciate the performing arts. You see, absolutely, Connor. I think it's very, very important to support those kind of businesses. Those girls work very hard. Good on. Harry Darg, here in Florida, has been in the hundreds all week. It's not particularly warm here, to be honest, but it's not cold. Guy Martin, I'm well, just cold, John Dwyer. Steve, Guy, when you're back home, come have a brew with us in Cheshire. We've got Yorkshire tea and Jaffa cakes. Jaffa cakes are plenty. I saw the photos, Steve. Well, saying that, you've probably eaten most of them by now. Kayamota, my hero. Simon, Guy is penguin chasing lol. Maybe he is, who knows? What have the BBC got him doing this time? That's the question. Matowix, have you had a flu shot or COVID shot yet? No. The last I heard was that each individual will be contacted by the government with a scheduled, jab, basically, where to go and when to be there. As of yet, I haven't been contacted. I imagine they'll do it by mobile phone. They seem to have everybody's phone number. So we'll have to wait and see what turns up. But at the moment, I haven't popped my COVID flu jab cherry yet. I'll let you know when it happens, if it ever happens. I don't know what's going on. It seems to be a bit of a mess here in New Zealand as regards the rollout of the, what do you want to call it? I don't know, the jab, that'll do. Gary Lennox, I haven't had Jaffa cakes in ages. Have to pick some up soon. Isn't it amazing when somebody starts talking about a particular food, how you go, I need some of those. Matowix, would you live down there? Would I live down there? Would I live in the South Island? Mrs. Mechanic very much wants to live in the South Island. She really, really does. And we've sort of got what we call a 5-year plan. So at some point, we want to buy some land in the South Island and then build a little house on there. I don't want to sell this property. I absolutely want to keep this property because with my job, I'm in the North Island as much as I am. Well, I'm in the North Island more than I'm in the South Island, but mainly because this is where my office is and bits and pieces. So it would be good to have a base here as well. Plus, I bought this property as an inheritance for the kids. Really, it's going to be passed on down to them, and I could never get rid of this workshop. I'd have to just build another one down there that looks, I suppose, similar, bigger, higher ceiling certainly. But we'll see how things pan out. I don't know whether funds will permit that or not. We'll see what happens. KR Moto, been doing an 83 Suzuki GS 1100E build using the same method you did with the Dana coil system. That's what turned me onto your channel. Well, that's great news. So the installation of the electronic ignition from Dana, I pronounce it wrong, I get told off. Did it go well? Is she up and running? All happy with that? Did you find the video helpful? I've had some really good feedback on that video. I did try to really focus on making it cover all the aspects of the installation with a few tips and tricks and bits and pieces, and try and. The hardest part was actually when you were filming, getting the timing correct, the ignition timing correct, having everything in one shot. That was absolutely critical, otherwise it wouldn't have worked. So hopefully that came across okay. Ricky, grateful Andy, no problem Ricky. Steve, Gary, had a community member come for a ride along yesterday. He brought cherry and blackcurrant Jaffa cakes. Now you're talking. I'm not so much of a fan of the orange ones, but cherry and blackcurrant I could definitely go for. I've not seen those here in New Zealand. William Wallace, new style poly bushes or original rubber bushes. No, they're not even really a bush. They're just a rubber that goes between this and the tube of the fork itself, just to locate it. And they'd all really badly perished. And they were the wrong way around. Somebody had fitted the rubbers that went here to the top, and the top ones down the bottom. So the whole thing didn't really fit very well either. So it was good to pull it all apart. It had to happen. And when they finally turn up, hopefully the next couple of weeks, I can then get the thing put back together. I know Alan's really looking forward to getting the bike back. And then he can start the process of compliance and get it registered for the road, which is what it's all about. It's probably going to need a new battery by then. It's been here a year. I keep charging it up, but I don't know. Might need a new battery. It's good to know that you're getting some ride-alongs there, Steve. Good job. And you're getting paid for it in Jaffa cakes, which is even better. Almarine Velocity. Hello, Andy. Sorry I'm late. That's all right, Almarine. Don't worry. I was almost late myself this morning. Simon Roll, do you know why they say it's cold enough to freeze the balls of a brass monkey? Brass monkeys used to be used to hold cannonballs. When it's cold, the brass shrinks faster than the cannonball. I didn't know that. That's good to know. Thank you, Simon. You see, full of knowledge. Connor K, click the like. Yes, click the like button, chaps. Why not? Pete, hi Andy. Sorry I'm late. How was your week? My week was great. When I got back from the trip from the South Island, I arrived home on the Tuesday. It would have been late afternoon. I got home. I spent the rest of the week at home. I worked from home. I say worked in the loosest sense. I did plan to take Thursday and Friday off because essentially the trip was a work trip. So I'd worked over a bank holiday weekend. We had the Queen's birthday on the Monday, bank holiday day. So essentially I was owed 3 days in lieu. Probably a bit unfair to claim all 3 in all honesty, but I thought, well, I'll claim a little bit because I've got stuff that I would have been doing at the weekend that's now delayed. But I'm pleased I went. Obviously, don't get me wrong. I'm really, really pleased that I went, and I'm very grateful of the offer to go. So Wednesday, I spent the whole day working. I was doing admin work. I'm actually preparing for a tribunal hearing, believe it or not, which took a lot of effort to collate all the information. On Thursday, some more. I got all that done. The draft was finished. Thursday, I got bogged down in the morning with more admin work, and the same happened on Friday. So I didn't really have Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon off work, but even then I was still covering the phones and doing emails and stuff. So it was quite slow going, trying to get stuff done. But Saturday and obviously today, yesterday was spent afternoon concreting. The morning I did that video, amongst other bits and pieces, tied the workshop. And this afternoon I've got 2 videos to make if I've got time. One is an oil and filter change on a motorcycle. Can't say the brand. Pie time! Oh, we've got to give it 2 minutes to settle. 2 minutes, and it hasn't caught fire, so that's good. We'll give it 2 minutes to settle. So remind me in 2 minutes, chaps, please. And I've got an ATV, an old ATV, again, can't say the brand, 4-wheel drive, one of the very first 4-wheel drive ATVs produced by this particular manufacturer, which I bought not too long ago when I was last in the South Island with the ute, and it has a seized starter clutch. Now, on the same trip, I was given another bike, similar year, same model, with a spare engine in it. So I'm going to extract the starter clutch from that, put it in the said ATV. That's a video for this afternoon, hopefully, and get that bike up and running, because it'd be great to use around the garden for Mrs. Mechanic doing the gardening and towing a little trailer around and stuff. So that's the plan. Obviously, you won't see that video on the channel for, well, many years, no doubt. It's one of those ones that I'll just edit up on a quiet evening, if it gets done this weekend. Hopefully it will. Walter Bargner. Walter and Judy from United States in Browns Mills, New Jersey. You have an awesome show. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much, Walter, and Judy, for that. I really, really appreciate the feedback. I'm pleased that you enjoy, the videos, not just the live streams, but the videos as well. One thing I've noticed with the live streams, and I like to be totally honest about this, as daft as it seems, the channel appears to be losing subscribers whenever I do a live stream. Now, that might be a glitch on YouTube, or it might be that the normal viewing audience that watch the videos for repairs don't actually enjoy the live streams, and it's not the live streams that they go onto the channel for. It's just one of those things. I mean, yes, I'm okay to take a bit of a hit on that. I mean, the channel is an evolving platform, and live streams in the last year have become part of the channel and what I provide viewers. Obviously, subscribers overall are on the increase. I think we're at 67,300 and something now, which is phenomenal. But I remember on one live stream, I lost 7 subscribers, which is bizarre. I can't quite get my head around it, because why would you unsubscribe? Just don't watch the live stream. Very strange. But anyway, it's one of those things, and I just thought I'd bring it to your attention that, some of the viewers clearly don't like the live streams. But the channel's all about me and what I do and the things that I fix. And it's a journey that I take you all along. And I think the live streams are part of that. I've certainly got into the swing of doing them. I actually missed doing a live stream last Sunday. It felt a bit weird, Now, Doctor of Computers, welcome back. We missed you. I missed me as well, to be honest. Roger Heaps, have a shop you could convert, probably a little south for you there. There could be a plan, Roger. It could be a plan. We'll wait and see. Thank you for the offer. I will keep you posted. I don't know where we're going to end up, to be honest, at the moment. DR Small Engine Repair, love your work. Well, thank you very much. Roger Heaps sent a picture on Messenger. I think he did. I heard it come in. Let's have a little look. Right. Bear with me. Bear with me. Outdoor furniture. 205 litre drums. Perfect. I actually made it's still outside actually. I made a barbecue out of one of those years ago. In fact, I made one years and years ago when I was 15. I made one out of one of those as well, which was pretty cool. I had a birthday party and I wanted a barbecue, so Dad wouldn't buy me a barbecue, so I just made one out of an old drum, and it was phenomenal. I wasn't very good at cooking, but I still aren't very good at cooking, but I think I destroyed most of the food that went on there. Got very badly burnt. It was more like a kiln than it was a barbecue. It was a bit too hot. Oh, hang on. Bear with me. You're firing out the comments. Roger, yeah, done that. The giant governor. We enjoy all your videos, including the live streams. Please keep it coming. I will. Don't worry. I'm not too concerned about a few viewers that don't like the live streams. It's their choice. End of the day, there's lots of other really, really good YouTube channels out there, and I'm sure that they'll migrate to those. Simon, I had one of them ATV in last week. No crank. Was easy fix with a file. Okay. Jim K, smash the like button. Thank you, Jim, and good morning, Jim. And my apologies that our phone conversation of the day was extremely short. I think we got cut off. Gary Lennox, Andy, it's great that you can do the on-location live streams as well. I enjoy those. Sometimes they're a bit difficult to organise. I haven't yet been thrown out of a pub yet. Um, it all really depends on the quality of internet in that area. I try to do most of them in a town, so it's not normally a problem. But the ones out on location in the middle of nowhere, in New Zealand especially, is a real issue. Sometimes the internet just doesn't exist. Never mind phone signal. You can't even send a text. Never mind do a live stream. Pete, Andy, I love the live and all the videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate that. Steve, live stream gives us a great insight into you and your life. I, for one, really enjoy them. Think it adds to your channel and the spectrum you cover. Well put, Steve. Really well put. I know we just sit here and talk about all sorts of weird stuff, but that's a live stream, isn't it? It's engagement with the audience. That's what it's all about. Virginia Governor, Andy, I think your pie is ready. The pie. Let's go with the pie. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Oh, right. Dum 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 dum. Pie time. Good call. We're already an hour into the live stream, and we're just getting the pie out. Just getting the pie out. Oh, it looks good. Feels good. I think we're there. Okay. Okay. Right. We've got our little sheet all ready to fill out. Look at that. Okay. We're going to fill that out right now. Coming round. There we go. Plug you back in. Need the battery. Bear with me. Bear with me. Terrible photography. Right. In fact, talk about photography. Just while I'm getting the pie organised, I was doing that video yesterday on the LED stuff, on the LED lights, and I know Steve's covered it a little bit in one of his videos, showing his new workshop. And I remember before purchasing these new LED lighting panels, which are just over there in a box, we did a little test in the shop, and they fired one of the panels up, took me into the workshop at the back, because we still weren't too sure whether it's still going to flicker on camera or not. So they turned all the lights off in the workshop, and we had just this one panel lit, and I filmed it, and there was no flicker. So I was like, cool, that's what I need. So that's why I bought them. But here in the workshop, when I was doing it, I had the fluorescent lights on, and there's quite a lot of fluorescent lighting above this bench, you know, to light the bench up. And I filmed the panel again, and it was flickering. I'm like, holy crap, what's going on? Why is it flickering? And I was there trying to think, maybe it's the power supply, maybe it's the voltage into the workshop, you know, really overthinking the whole thing. And Mrs. Mechanic came in, and I said, oh, I've got a real problem. I tried different cameras and stuff, and on every one it was flickering. I'm like, man, this isn't right. This isn't gonna, the whole video is gonna collapse. You know, there's no point of difference with the new panels, which are supposed to be flicker free. And then she goes, you realize that you've got your fluorescent lights on, don't you? And I went, yes. Oh, and it was the reflective light off the fluorescent lights on the casing of the panel light that was causing the flickering. So I turned all the big lights off and just had the panel light on, and no flicker. I was very happy. I was getting quite worried, actually. But sometimes you don't see the wood for the trees, do you? You don't think of the most obvious thing. So big thank you to Mrs. Mechanic for saving that video yesterday. Right, Oxford pie, here we go. That's what we've got. Steak and cheese, as always. And this one is a generously sized pie, so we'll take that into consideration. These are made in New Zealand, which is good. Try to support New Zealand wherever I can. Okay, pie is coming out of bag. We'll put the bag over there because we need to look at the bag a bit later on as part of our assessment of pie. Now, before we start, I want to look at the structure, Foley partners, because that's one thing that we have to take into consideration. Because, you know, when you're eating the whole idea of a pie to me is it's a quick feed when you're out on the road. That's what most pies get eaten for, here in New Zealand at least. And you know, if you're out on the road, usually you're at work, and the last thing and you might even be driving whilst eating the pie. Some people do, I don't. But even so, if the pie starts to collapse on you, there's a chance you might get pie contents down the front of your shirt or on your trousers if you're driving, and that's a bad look. It's a very bad look. I mean, people first of all know that you've had a pie, but secondly, you know, it tends to degrade your appearance a little bit, and they start wondering what the hell's going on. So, what is the bonding like between the lid of the pie and the main tub? We could call that, I suppose, couldn't we? Almost like a bathtub. So here, look, we've got some lift. Now lift is not good. It's pretty. The bonding is quite poor. I'm not impressed by that. We can actually probably, you know, open the flap quite a bit to have a little look inside. You know, that I'm not really impressed. It was very happy pie. Look, it's happy pie, but that's not ideal. I've also noticed around the base, trying not to break it up too much, we've already got some cracking on the base. Now that could lead to a pie-catastrophe, or pitastrophe, that's it, pitastrophe. If that was to break through, then the vast majority of the contents could end up in your lap whilst driving. So let's score that first. Where's my pen? So structure fall apartness, it's not ideal, is it? I think we've got we've even got cracks around the outside as well. You see there, look, we've got a crack. You see that on the camera? There's a big crack coming down there, and it's quite soft to the touch. You can see that I can push that in there. Look, it's not particularly rigid. So I'm going to give that a 4. I'm going to give that a 4 out of 10. Okay, we're going in. We're going in. Are you ready? There's quite a lot of deformation going on there when the body of the pie is deforming. However, we are straight into the contents, which is good. So very tasty. It is tasty, I give it that. And the pastry tastes actually pretty good. Not had any large lumps of meat yet. It almost tastes like a mince pie with the size of the meat pieces. But with the flavour, I'm going to give that an 8. That's actually not a bad pie at all. Runnability. Well, let's try the runnability. Are we going to get any pie running out? Sometimes the contents are quite fluid, quite viscous. You see there, look, we're already starting to get some leakage out the side there. That could end in disaster if you're driving. It really could. You might not notice that, and that could end up, you know, because you need one hand for steering most of the time. Okay, getting some larger pieces of meat now. It's good. But the spillage is about to occur. We've got some pretty serious, you know, that would require an emergency bite. It is quite fluid. It's starting to break up. Okay, runnability. That's pretty good. It's actually not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm going to give that an 8. Meat quality. Well, there's a piece of meat hanging out there, look. There's a lot of gravy. There's a hell of a lot of gravy content and not large chunks of meat. I like large chunks of meat in my pies. So it's been made from a lot of bits. I'm going to give that a 6. To me, that's a 6. Tastes good, but there's no big chewy lumps of meat, which I like. Pie filling to volume, the crust, pie to crust ratio. Well, the pastry is quite thin, and there is a decent amount of filling to it. So I'm going to give that a reasonably good. Wow, it really is starting to break up now. I'm going to be super careful with this one. I'm going to give that an 8. Availability logistics. I don't know. This came locally. Let's have a little look on Google and see what Oxford pies have to say. So I'm going to turn you round. in a second. Hang on. So Oxford pies. Oh, award-winning New Zealand pies. We love pies. Okay. Right. This is their website. Dum 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 dum. Hang on. Oh, I've got to adjust the camera. Bear with me. So, what do they say? A community staple for more than 40 years. Check out our pies. Oxford pies, a Kiwi legend since 1977. 2019 Gold Pie Award for the mince and cheese. There's pie people. Very good. We've got some letters from customers. What can I say? Tasty meat, crisp light pastry, decent chunks of steak. I'd have to question that one. I've tried many a mince and cheese pie, and nothing has even come close to comparing to an Oxford pie. I do the steak and cheese, not the mince, unfortunately. I just can't remember the last time I enjoyed a pie so much. I wonder how much they paid Donna for that one. Right, that's the bottom. So where can we get them? Shop. Oh, you can get home delivery. Well, that's good. You can get them sent straight to your house. That's definitely under a few marks there. Okay, family pies, fruit pies, single serve pies. That's what this will be, won't it? A single serving. Let's have a little look. There we go. Oh, I see. So you can buy all your pies online and get them sent through. That is very, very good. I like that. Good range of pies as well, actually. Next page. Click. What have we got? Creamy vegetable pie. I don't think so. Lamb and mint. May mystery box. Wow, that'd be full of the vegetable ones, I bet you. Okay, so I think given the fact you can order them online from Oxford, they can be sent to anywhere in New Zealand. Not to mention that they're available through the shops as well. So they've done extremely well on their availability. I think we should give them a 10 for that. I think that's really, really good that you can order them online. Very impressed. You can't do that with the Wild Bean Cafe pies. You've got to go to a petrol station to get one. Pastry taste rating. Right, hang on. Let me try and get the pie picked up without spilling any. It really is getting quite fluid. Okay. So a bit of pastry. There we go. I'll eat the top. Crispy. It's got a funny taste to it though. Let me try and get another bit. You wouldn't want to eat just the pastry on its own. I'm going to give that a 5. I think the pastry could taste better. Packaging design. Okay. Well, I think it's quite smart. What are your opinions on that one? I think it's pretty good. I mean, okay, there's no photos on there and stuff. You can see the contents inside. What else do they put on there? That's the back. There you go, look. I think it's pretty average. I don't think it's mind-blowing packaging, but it looks traditional. That's what they're going for. Kiwi legend since 1977. 100% New Zealand made. Gives you the weight. Go on to Facebook. I like the text font. That's pretty cool. I'm going to give them a 7 for that. I think 7's a fair score. Recyclable score. Right, this is where is the packaging recyclable? Hang on, let me go back onto the live stream again. Somebody mentioned about a pie. Bear with me. Bear with me. Oh my word, so many messages. Yes, the pie pack has an old school vibe, Simon. It does. You're right there. Okay, is it recyclable? Let's have a look. It says here, right at the bottom on there, look, you can see that. It says, keep New Zealand clean, dispose of your... Hang on a minute. Dispose of something properly. Dispose of your wrapper thoughtfully. So it says put it in the bin. It's not recyclable plastic. So we've lost a bit there, haven't we? So what have we got? Packaging, recyclable score, not recyclable. Well, but it says put it in the bin. I'm going to give them 1 for that. I think the packaging should, in this day and age, it should be recyclable. Okay. Oh, pie server attractiveness. Well, Mrs. Mechanic got this pie, so we have to give it a 10. So we'll give that a 10. Stuffability. Well, I've not finished it yet, but it is, as it's cooling down, it's started to congeal and it's not falling apart as much. But as you can see, it's quite a flat pack pie now, isn't it? It's sort of lost all its shape. It's spewing out, but it hasn't dripped. But it has, you know, it's required a bit of good pie management. But you can see on there, there's quite a lot of gravy and not a lot of meat. Okay. Yeah. I got pie on the cardboard, so it did spill out a bit. Bugger. Post pie heartburn. Well, I'm still eating. Right, bear with me. I've got to scroll back a million. Pie time. Jim K. Pie. John, 2 minutes are up. Get the pie. Choppers Rule 1. Good day, mate. How's it going? We're doing pies. We're doing really well. Gets 10 out of 10 for the pie server, lol. Sure does. Ricky, question, Andy. What are you going to do in 2025 since New Zealand will be completely smoke-free at that point? Only ask Andy, as I'm in the same boat. That's not true. I remember seeing something on TV which explained in more detail their target. And their target is not to be 100% smoke-free. That's not possible because somebody somewhere will light up a cigarette sometime after 2025. That would be an impossible goal. I suppose the only way to achieve that will be to ban the import of tobacco into a lump of meat into New Zealand, and to stop it coming in, you know, as personal stuff on planes and things. It just isn't going to happen. I think they have a target to reach. I can't remember what the target is. I wonder if it's on Google actually. Let's have a look. NZ smoke-free policy. Here we go. The government has set a long-term goal of reducing smoking prevalence and tobacco availability to minimum levels, thereby making New Zealand essentially a smoke-free nation by 2025. To achieve this long-term smoke-free 2025 goal, by 2018, daily smoking prevalence must fall to 10%. So if they can get it below 10%, they're going to class themselves essentially as smoke-free. So I can still have a cigarette. The taste of this pie is getting better as it cools down. I have to admit though, I've had to implement some pretty serious pie management to stop this thing from falling apart in my hands. See, we've got some pretty, you know, it's oozing out everywhere. Okay. Wash it down with a cold coffee. Well, that wasn't too bad. That was actually quite nice. It's not a pie that you want to be eating whilst driving, though, or doing anything else, basically. You really need to focus on, controlling that potential pytastrophe. So is it still tasty when cold? Well, I think it will have been, because it was getting tastier and tastier as it was cooling down. So I'm going to give it an 8 for that. Stuffability. Do I feel stuffed? Do I want another one? No, it's done the job. It's done the job that a pie needs to do. I don't feel, lethargic, can't do any work, kind of stuffed. I feel just right. So I'm going to give it an 8 for that. Obviously, if you're completely stuffed and you can't even walk, then that would be a 10. Now, have we covered everything? So taste, stroke, flavour was 8. I'll show you the sheet look. Structure, fully partness was 4. It was pretty poor on that front. Right from the start, it was starting to break up. Runnability wasn't too bad. I think I'm going to change that to a 7. Because it did, well, actually, I think even a 6. Because it did start to ooze out quite a bit, didn't it? Meat quality, 6. I think I got 2 large lumps of meat out of that thing. Pie filling volume, so pie to crust ratio, 8 was very good. Availability, where you can buy it online direct from the manufacturer, and it's pretty cheap, $3.50. I think that's great. So I gave them a 10 for that. Not all pie suppliers in New Zealand have the ability where you can buy online from their website. Ooh, we had a burp. Record that, we had a burp. Pastry taste rating, that was quite poor. The pastry on its own left a funny aftertaste. Wasn't over impressed by that. I might even give that a 4 actually. I'm going to give that a 4. Is the pie still tasty when cold? Well, actually, it was getting better as it was cooling down. Packaging design, yes, I think it was quite traditional, looked good, old school. I like that. It sort of instills that confidence that they've been around for a long time, and they're obviously expert pie makers, and it's going to be a wonderful pie to eat. Recyclable score, there isn't one. It only got 1 mark out of 10 because it just said put it in the bin. The packaging is not recyclable. Post pie heartburn factor. It's a bit early yet, but I did have a burp. What should we score that? I'm feeling okay. So a high is good. So let's go with, where to burp? I'm going to leave it at 8. If things change later on, I will alter the score. Stuffability score got 8, and of course pie server attractiveness a full 10 because Mrs. Mechanic bought the pie. Right, I need to have a quick tally up. So that's going to be 12, 18, 24, 32, 42, 46, 54, 61, 62, 70, 78, 88. Right, you can check my arithmetic. There you go. Those are the scores. You reckon that's right? Do it again. Go do the sound effect. There you go. Right, so I reckon it's 88. So let's get our little magnetic strip. I'm going to move the camera around for you. Hang on a second. 3, 2, 1. Oh, golly gosh, things we do. There we go. Right, let's get this back on there. Look. Right, so we've got Oxford pies. Are we in shop? We are. And this is the steak and cheese. and it was the 220 gram. I like to put that on there now, how heavy it weighed, and we gave it 88. Okay, let's head over to the wall of famous pies and get this popped on. Here we go. Where's it going to be in the leaderboard? I don't know. So we've got Wild Bean Cafe steak and cheese at 103. We've got Irvin's steak and cheese at 93, and Big Ben steak and cheese and bacon double XL 64, which proves that quantity isn't what it's all about. So that is going to go on there. Look, fantastic. We're getting quite a list now. I'll probably put on a few kgs by the time I get to the bottom of the cupboard. Okay. Right, back to the bench. There we go. Let's put you back on charge again. Jeez, honestly. Come up with a better way of doing this. There we go. So we have a score. Now that score might, if I suddenly get a really bad attack of heartburn later on, then of course, this has to be a genuine summary or appraisal of said pie. So I will be altering that score, but you'll see that in a future live stream or a video anyway. But at the moment, it's got 88 out of 130, which isn't a bad score, to be fair. Not a bad score. Right. So where did we get to? Comments. Millions and millions of comments have come through. So just bear with me a second. Okay. We've got Chopper's Rule 1. Got a freebie yesterday. Did you? What kind of freebie? Tell me all about it. Anko Wavaz. Hey, what's up? Oh yeah, a crack. Lol. Cruz. Gruz. Tastes good, I bet. I had a KFC today. KFC already? I don't really eat KFCs unless it's like a last resort thing, but I always hate myself for having a KFC. He had a double down. Chopper's Rule. Pie. Was that a pie? No, it's a bowl with a flag. What is it? I can't see. Ankov has, I live in Phoenix. Very good. Steve, definitely Pietastrophe incoming with that build quality, mate. I think so. That really let the side down, did that? It was a bad start to what could have been a good pie. Ankwaz, oh, that's good. Chopper's Rule 1. Stop it. You're making me hungry. I think we're all going to start eating more pies by the looks of it. Ankwaz, we're getting bigger pieces of meat. That's good. We were. It did get slightly better. Oh, why my message got deleted? I don't know. It just said message retracted, so you retracted it, not me. 2 more retracted messages. Ankvaz, I eat every day McDonald's and KFC. Well, I don't know if that's a good idea, to be honest. You need to eat it, in a sort of as part of your diet. I think living off that completely is probably not the best idea. Ankvaz, and I have 24 followers on Instagram. Good lad. But I follow 1,204. Bob Kinney, pie! 22 out of 7. 22-7? Simon Roll, the pack pie pack has an old school vibe. It does. I liked it. John Nuttall, did you see my link to FB pies? You passed over it some time back. FB pies. Let's have a look. I can Google it. FB pies. FB pies. Oh, yes. Yes. Fat Bastard Pies. That's just the name of the brand. I mean, you can't say it if it's not the name of the, in Invercargill. That's right. I did. And when I go to Invercargill on my next proper trip, I will most definitely be going to FB Pies. Without a doubt. Sounds awesome. Now, you're in New Zealand, says Ankapavaz. Yes, I am. I love it. My dad was born there. Wow. Bob Kinney, Muppet pie. Ankavaz, don't smoke, man. It's bad for you. I know it is. I don't smoke very much, though. I smoke a lot more on the live stream than at any other time, to be honest, even at the pub. Gary Lennox, I'm craving a pie and beans myself. You see, I can't do that. I can't have a pie and Heinz baked beans, or any baked beans. I can't do it. Pies I like. Heinz baked beans I very much like. Having beans with a pie, I think it's the mixture of the bean with the pastry, or maybe even the content. To me, it just doesn't work. I have to have baked beans, usually on toast, or in a jacket potato. Those are sort of the two. Although I do like baked beans over a campfire that I had my granddad years and years ago, over a campfire, and then you put a few potatoes in there, a bit of bacon in there, and you keep mixing it, and it reduces down the sauce of the beans to almost, so it almost becomes a solid, but it retains all that flavor of the bean juice, but it's concentrated. It's that I really like. I had that when I was about 10 or well, maybe 10 years old. With my granddad, he made a little fire in the garden and we cooked baked beans over it, and it was brilliant, and I'll never forget the taste. It was fantastic. Bob Kinney, turkey pork pie, chicken pot pie, or beef. Oh, sorry, turkey pot pie, chicken pot pie, or beef pot pie. I'm not so much a fan of chicken pies. I don't know why. So I'm beef pies. Pork pies would be all right. I like the English pork pies, the cold ones. They're nice, but they're not really a pork pie, are they? As a pie thing. Simon, the problem with pushing tobacco sale out of the mainstream makes it an underground thing, and brings more crime into the mix, as they will never get rid of smoking. I agree completely. $3.50, very cheap lot. Ankavas, here I get a whole Suvalki. What the hell's that? For $2.50. $2.50. I don't know what a Suvalki is. You have to explain to me. Ricky, thanks for pointing that out, as I misread the policy, Andy. Cheers. I was under the impression that it was, the word smoke-free implies that there won't be any smoking. It'd be quite funny, actually, if you ended up having a cigarette and there was a smoke-free sign, and they're all over New Zealand, especially in the cities, saying this is a smoke-free zone, and going by the policy, as long as you're one person out of 10 that's smoking in that area, then you're meeting policy. I wonder how that will go down. I think they'd still ask you to stop smoking. Now, Anchor, honestly, Anchor, we'll call it Anchor, it's easier. I think of buying a KX500. The KX500s are lethal machines. They are phenomenal fun. Big single two-stroke, can't go wrong. Anchor, and swapping the engine with a 3-cylinder two-stroke. When the KX500 was a two-stroke, from memory, a single pot, and you could put a 3-cylinder in it. That would be interesting. Where would you get that from? A 3-cylinder two-stroke engine. Anchor, or a V9 Super, what the hell? Very correct. He's sort of dominating the comments here, gentlemen. Sorry. My dad was born in Wellington, and my grandparents had a restaurant there. Nice. Anchor. Then he moved to East Germany of the time when he was 10 years old. Shit. Steve, I'm off to Somerset tomorrow for the second leg of my Master Technician Renewal training at Tech Topics, Advanced Oscilloscope, on Monday and Tuesday. You see, I should be there. If I was in England now, Steve, I would be there, and I'd be learning from you, because you are the guru when it comes to scopes. I have a lot to learn, and I'm very keen to learn. George Bonnie 90, the question is, would you buy that pie again? Very good question. I mean, the thing with pies in New Zealand is, normally you stop at a petrol station, or a servo, as they call them in Australia, for some reason, and you stop and you're hungry. And I used to do the old sandwich thing, but sandwiches just don't cut it anymore, not normally, unless it's a really hot day. I mean, some days are not pie days, don't get me wrong. But if I have a mindset on a pie and that was the only brand of pie they sold, yes, I would buy another one. Would I be overly impressed? Would I walk out of the store after I'd eaten my pie going, wow, that was a good pie? No. Would it have satisfied my hunger? Yes. So hopefully that summed it all up. Would I drive eating the pie? Absolutely not. That is definitely not a drivable pie. John Nuttall, they have a pie club. What? A pie club? I have to join that pie club. I will inquire when I go in. A pie club, that's brilliant. Simon Rawl got a job next Friday about 3 miles from a Thomas the Baker's. We all know what's going to happen there, Simon, don't we? You will frequent that Thomas the Baker's. You may not plan to do that when you first set off in the morning, but the urge will build during the day, and you will go to Thomas the Baker's, and you will buy Thomas the Baker's produce. Maybe a sausage roll. Sausage rolls are great from Thomas the Baker's. Oh my word. Right. Ankovaz, Anko. I got to stop eating KFC, but for the last 6 years, I eat it every day. No. Your taste will be better when you quit smoking. I know. Tobacco. Slovak is a Greek god, Gyros. Greek good, Gyros? Don't get it. Banshee 350, lethal machine. Banshee 350 is a phenomenal machine. Way ahead of its time, obliterated the quad racing scene, and has a huge following. I do know where one is. They don't make them anymore, unfortunately. I know where one is. I've got my eye on it. It might come my way. It might not. It won't come my way straight away, but the guy that has it knows that I want it. So I'll keep pushing. Steve, mate, first chance I get, I'll come over and give you some one-on-one so you can spread the scope of skills all across New Zealand. Steve, you're most welcome, mate. For as long as you want, you can be here. Anko, but drinks like crazy. They do drink fuel. You're right there. And the two-stroke oil as well. Simon Roll, GT750 was a 3-pot two-stroke. Road One gives you a massive smile on your face. Yes, GT750, you're right. I remember those. I had a GT, a smaller one. I think it was only a twin, two-stroke. That was fun. Don't think I had it very long though. Long time ago. Choppers Rule 1. Good day, mate. Good day. Choppers Rule 1. Anko, I meant food, not good. Sorry. Oh, okay, it's Greek food. Right. Got you. I got a free bee or a free beer yesterday. Free beer is always good. Greek food. Yes. When we were in Athens, waiting to ship to New Zealand, once we got the container all loaded up and we got our airline tickets and we knew we were on our way to New Zealand, which wasn't guaranteed by any means at that point in time. Basilius, who was the guy that helped us to organize the container and stuff, he put on we had a huge party at one of the local Greek pubs in the village that we were staying in, and got very, very drunk. It was a very drunk night, and we started to eat traditional Greek, food based around the fishery industry. And there was some really weird stuff coming out, things that still had eyeballs and resembled the shape of a little fish, and I ate all of it. And normally I don't eat anything like that, but I just ate everything, and it was really tasty. And then we started dancing on the floor and doing weird stuff from memory. I don't remember too much, but Mrs. Mechanic did say that she was glad when the night was over. It was quite embarrassing by the sounds of it. But what a good bloke. He got us sorted out. And it was all done through backhanders. Nice chap. Choppers One, I got a ZZZR 600, ZZZR, not a ZZR, ZZZR 600 Kawasaki yesterday. Wow, they got like stink. Anchor, we have beers like Methos, Alpha and Fix, Greek beers. Ah, okay. Nut Barsden, hello Andy and crew. Good morning, Nut, and welcome to the workshop. Good to have you on board, matey. Anko, call me Anos. I can do that. Anos. Anos it is. That's a lot easier to pronounce. I can do that. So, plans for today and for the up and coming week. Well, today my plan is I've got a couple of videos to make. I'm running a bit behind schedule now because we've run over schedule, but anyway, such is life. I've got a video to do on just an oil and filter change on a very, very popular motorcycle around the globe. So when that hits the channel one day, because it's the brand that can't go out at the moment, that will be, I think, quite a popular video. And then in the afternoon, I have to change the starter clutch on an old ATV, one of the first four-wheel drive ATVs that this particular manufacturer made. Again, it's another video that can't go on the channel immediately. It's going to have to sit in the archives for many years, probably, before it's released. But I've got the bike to fix anyway, so why not make a video on it? Hey, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So maybe, I don't know how I'm going to get around this obstacle of not having these videos on the channel. It may be that I can have them on maybe a Google Drive and you can download and watch them. Do them that way, and then that way it's not in breach, so to speak. But I've got to consult my employer about that before I make any moves. Oh my word. I meant, sorry, ZZR. Yeah. My fat fingers on the keyboard. I thought so. I never heard of a ZZZR. Sounds even faster than ZZR. Steve, excess ouzo might have something to do with the eyeball eating and dancing. Yes, we definitely had ouzo. Ouzo's very addictive. I like ouzo a lot. Simon, choppers were one. Them calipers will jam on soon. Anos, Greek names hard, and am I right? Yes, you are right. Choppers were one. Yes, Simon, the rear caliper is already it's already stuck. The Giant Governor, Andy, have a wonderful week, and please don't forget about the spark tester. Thank you. I will do my very best not to forget. I might still forget, but I'll try not to forget. I have it in the drawer. I'll dig out your emails and we'll work out what to do. Simon, choppers are one. The joint bolts are a pig to get out on them. I bet they are. Choppers are one. Yeah, I hate doing calipers. I actually like doing calipers. I do calipers a lot. I don't mind doing calipers at all. It's one of my fortes. But it was free, lol. It was free motorcycle. Honestly, you can't go wrong at that, can you? A free bike. I got some free bikes recently, and I was very, very happy. I actually got way too many free bikes, in all honesty, but you can't turn them away, can you? It's they're there for the future, and I'm sure they will all get some love at some point. Anos, my man English is not good, sorry. That's all right, mate, don't worry. Okay, crew, well, the coffee is well and truly stone cold. I've almost run out of cigarettes, so I'll have to pop down to the shop and get some more, no doubt. We've covered everything. We've done the pie, we've done the Oxford pie. We've even covered the Brass Monkey beer. And I'm not going to drink this. This is going to go back in the fridge. At some point, I might get really thirsty, but I'll try and put that off for quite some time. And share it with Mrs. Mechanic, no doubt. Because, well, in fact, she's not. I brought it back for her, really, because I've had quite a few of those already, if I'm being honest. So thank you very much for joining the live stream. Next week for me is a very, very busy week. I'm heading up to Auckland tomorrow to take back the bike that I rode down to Brass Monkey. It needs a bit of a wash, to be honest. I've got to try and fit that in some time. And then Tuesday I've got to be at head office because we've got stuff going on. Can't disclose what that is. And then Wednesday and Thursday I will be on the stand of the brand I can't mention for 2 days at the National Field Days near Hamilton, held at Mystery Creek. We all call it Misery Creek for whatever reason. And then Friday I'm going to court. Yeah, Andy's going to court on Friday, so wish me luck. it's not me that's been, you know, told off by the judge, but I have to do a defence. So we'll see how things pan out. I'll let you know. And then, of course, Saturday, Sunday back in the workshop. But I've got an ROV to service next weekend and got to get it back up to Auckland the following week because it's been sat for 2 weeks, collected but not touched. So I've really got to get that one done. Okay, crew. Well, thank you very much for watching and for joining me in the workshop again. It's great to be doing the live streams once more. And my apologies we missed a Sunday. I really didn't want to miss out a Sunday because we've been doing it for so long. But it was, I suppose, in some ways nice not to have a live stream to do as well. It was good to have a day completely to myself. All right, crew. Thanks again. And if you want to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon or PayPal. Or, you know, you can also just share a video on your social media, one that you enjoyed. Let's try and get a few more people on board on the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. A few more subs. All right, chaps. Thanks again. Cheers. Over and out.